Hi guys, Simon Trizelian here for the Lockdown Chronicles 11. Just wanted to tap into something today that I've been thinking about. Over the last couple of days, a lot of energy has been given to thanking the emergency services for what they're doing, which is really commendable. And it's about time that some of our leadership got out of their ego and stopped bleating about how well they were doing, but for actually how well these guys are doing on the ground, who are pushing hours and hours of trying to keep people safe. So this is called the importance of importance, about what is truly important. Now, I remember a time when I was back at school. You remember those times where you got the playground games and everyone lines up and the two captains get to choose who's going to be on the team. Everybody wants to be chosen first. And it was interesting because when we were playing things like catch or football or anything like that, I was never chosen first, not once. And the reason for that is that I lacked the absolute skill of being able to play football. Later on, I actually became pretty good at it, but I lacked the skill, and therefore I was never chosen first, but I was always chosen around third. Okay. Now, what was happening then is that the captains would recognise who was actually skillful and who they really truly wanted on their team. And then after the first two, where you actually really took out the people that could actually play really well, then it was down to what other possibilities or what other attitudes or what other skill sets did these other people have. Now, I had a great skill set of determination. Okay, so I had character, and that was something that led me through all the way through on Special Forces. I would never give up, and I had such great spirit and character and teamwork that I was considered an asset, but I was only considered an asset at like level 3, not at level 1 like some of my other friends. But that was always a very significant thing for me, is to the recognition of when someone is placed in a leadership position of how they actually choose who they want on their team and in which level that they wish to place them. And this actually came to me when I was looking at, obviously with Special Forces, it's a great deal of selection. Everybody goes in there fit, everyone goes in there able to do the job. But then there is a selection, and that selection is largely on character and how you actually perform, given a variety of extremely difficult tasks. So I looked at what was really important and how we're viewing importance and how our aspect of importance has changed over the last month. Before everyone was wondering about what the Kardashians were doing or what Meghan and Harry were doing or what our politicians were thinking about impeachment or any of these other number of things which have now seen to be absolutely useless and futile and of no importance to us whatsoever in the living of our lives. So we have already changed our attitude in regards to what is important. And therefore, what is important in our society has now changed completely for this period of time, and who knows what's going to happen afterwards. Is this going to be a continued state of remembrance where we remember the people that actually helped us in times of crisis, or are we going to go into this denial and forgetfulness and go back to our soap operas and watching reruns of The Bachelor and stuff like this? So the word importance is actually a Greek word, and it's Greek and French, and it breaks down into 3 elements. The I am of importance means not possible without what's on the back. So it's not possible. Port obviously means, this is from French, in order to carry, what it is that you wish to carry forward, what you wish to have with you. A port itself is somewhere where there is the carriage of goods. And ants means a state of being, importance. So when you actually mix it together, it's basically the state of being in a state where you're unable to go forward without being able to take something with you. That's what importance actually means. So right now we're in a crisis. And what is really important is that the people that are actually there to be able to save our lives, or to be able to give us real timely information on and guidance as to what we should do. So a lot of people that believe in their own self-importance have largely gone by the wayside. We hadn't seen anything from Adam Schiff for a while, or Jerry Nadler, or any of these absolutely useless career politicians that are bringing nothing to the table. Same with Joe Biden right now. Absolutely useless. There is absolutely no value that person brings to the narrative, to the group wisdom, or indeed to anything. Now, it's nice that we've seen some of our leaders actually step up and actually give guidance. And of course, for those people that are now feeling the lack because they're not on TV anymore, and I always say that politics is show business for ugly people, is that you're starting to see a lot of people now trying to be relevant. They're desperately trying to replicate what the president has done, to have these daily briefings as if people are like hanging on a thread waiting to hear what they have to say. But in reality, these are career politicians and they actually know nothing. I would want to hear from scientists and doctors and people that are actually there, ER physicians that are there in the front line. Those are the people that are important right now. We cannot carry on without them. That is what it is. So therefore, it is really important for us to understand what is actually important to us and the people that are important. So imagine that you are being put on a desert island, which for most of you right now, being in isolation, is actually quite easy to imagine. So what is it that you would wish to take onto that island? It's one of these old questions that you used to get in parlour games. So who would you want right now to be on your side? Who would you want to have there in order to be able to help you? Perhaps someone that knows CPR, perhaps someone that knows about clinical hygiene, perhaps someone that understands and can actually put on a tourniquet or do minor surgery or dentistry or any of these type of things, or to be able to defend a person or to be able to solve problems. All of these things, when you're placed in a crisis, suddenly become of greater importance than fashion and trends and influencers and all of this nonsense which our whole life has been revolving around for several years now on social media. We're starting to see a great levelling. I think it's going to be difficult now as we go forward when it comes to the old way, and you see it so many times, in every political cycle. There is the question as to whether nurses are going to get a pay rise or doctors. Well, they're damn well going to get one now, aren't they? Because people now understand. They've been placed in a position not of their liking to understand that they cannot carry on without them. So why are we paying millions and millions of people that just toss balls around as opposed to people that are actively saving your grandma, saving your kids, making sure that they're safe? Society is coming to a situation where it's in your face, and you're going to have to start making decisions with your votes about how we move forward and how we accrue importance and how we recognize and how we reward that which is important to us. Remember, it's what you can't carry on without. So think about that the next time the election cycle comes round. It's not about identity politics anymore. It's about what actually works. So I want to end with a little thing that I heard many, many times ago, and especially when you're listening to politicians and all this type of thing. And it reminds me of this little bird. And this little bird is flying high, and it's winter. And the ice starts to form on its wings, and it becomes heavier and heavier to the point now where it can't fly at all, and it plummets to the ground, and it hits into this field. It's there, frozen solid, and it's about to die. But luckily, it's a cow field. And as a cow walks over, comes over to where the bird is, and it dumps on the bird. big, fat, warm cowpat. The bird is now covered, but the warmth of the cowpat melts the ice in its wings, and it's able then to move, and it's able then to tunnel out. And as it comes and sees the light of the new sky, it is so happy that it's now free, and it chirps and it chirps and it chirps, and it says wonderful things to the heavens. Now the farmyard cat hears this. The cat goes over to the cowpat where the bird is still there, takes him out and eats him. Bird is now dead. There are 3 morals to this story. Those that shit on you are not necessarily your enemies. Those that get you out of the shit are not necessarily your friends. And if you're happy in a pile of shit, keep your fucking mouth shut. This is Simon Giselian, out to you.